Alright, welcome back. V.O.C. College Football Thursday here. Got a lot of shit to talk about, kind of like the NFL. Dive into a lot. Got 2 pages full of stuff. Going to dive into the college football playoff. Let's get into it. Alright, before I dive into the college football playoff, which is fucking garbage at this point in life. That thing sucked. You'll tell by the name of the video. But like I said, I will, talk about, I did the show on Monday about like what happened up here in East Lansing after the MSU U of M game. I'll talk about kind of the MSU U of M game. Now the game, I talked about kind of the aftermath and how crazy it was up here. But now I want to dive into the game a little bit just because, it was such a great game. I don't remember half of it, but it was a great game. MSU ended up winning 37-33. I have that written down. Don't know why I think that that's the wrong score. I know it's not, but I'll triple, double, triple, quadruple check real quick. That's right, 37-33. I knew. This is just fucking big brain right here, okay? This guy fucking knows everything. I told you guys Brazen 6. Fucking big brain. I know everything. You want something done? Talk to this guy. I know everything. Alright, Kenneth Walker is a fucking beast. He should be the Heisman frontrunner. The fact he's not the Heisman favorite is bullshit. He had 197 yards, 5 touchdowns. He made shit happen that wasn't there. Like, no one else could have done some of the shit that he did. Oh, Michigan, you have these great running backs? No, you don't. You didn't last week because this fucking kid, one kid, did what 2 couldn't for Michigan. Crazy. Now, I know, like, oh my God, the fumble at the end of the game, that's a touchdown. Who gives a shit? It didn't go your way. One play is not the reason you lost the game. You lost the game because you had multiple fuck-ups, and MSU wanted to win the game. They wanted it way more than you did, talking to Michigan, and that's how it happened. That's how these games work. When a team wants it more than you, they win it. Look. Oh, and Cade McNamara played great. That kid was a beast. He dominated that game. He played very well. Keep playing the freshman. Keep playing him. Keep playing him. Because you shouldn't. Because Cade McNamara dominated. He's a really good quarterback. Just let the kid play. You guys, like nowadays in sports, we want the guy who's next up. Like I have the same thing with Notre Dame. Look, I get it. But like sometimes we need to sit back and like think. I have to do it myself. Like I said with Notre Dame and Jack Cohen. Like, look, I don't like him, but he's winning us games. He's not doing as bad as he was. So sometimes we just need to give these guys some time. I still hate Jack Cohen. He's a statue fuck. But we need to give these guys some time. Cade McNamara played very well. The offense played, passing-wise, played very well. And you still didn't win. Mel Tucker just earned himself a $10 million a year offer from LSU, if he wants it. Because of what he's done at MSU in 2 years. Some coaches, like Jim Harbaugh, haven't been able to do in 7. Bring in excitement, bring a prowess, bring like, we can win any game. We can win the Big Ten. We can beat our rivals. Mel Tucker's brought that. Keep chopping, baby. Michigan, you haven't brought it. Now on to, okay, you lose, what's next now? You can still finish 11-1. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they beat Ohio State. I think they might struggle a little bit with Penn State, just because Penn State has a really good defense that Ohio State somewhat struggled with. So you can be 9-3, 10-2, still really good. But what is next for Jim Harbaugh is the question. He's now been here 7 years at U of M. He's 3-4 against Michigan State, 0-5 against OSU. 1-4 in bowl games, and you look at it. Well, his record, 70-23 overall. Yeah, but what has he done? Nothing. He's not been to a Big Ten championship game. Hasn't made it to a big bowl game. His record's good, but it's not like he's going to sit there and he's going to, go win the Big Ten. He's going to conquer it. Like that's the thing. It's like what's next for him? Nothing. That is how I look at it. He got the new contract last year. It's got a smaller buyout. I don't foresee them firing him just because if they didn't get rid of him after last year, and they're not going to get rid of a coach that's like 9-3, 10-2. Jim's got to leave on his own. I've said that for years now. I think this might be the year where it's like, where he takes a step back and he goes, what more can we do that I haven't done? And winning a Big Ten title is not in that vicinity when you have Ohio State as good as they are. And if Mel Tucker stays at Michigan State, then your obstacles get even bigger. So it's like, if you haven't done it in 7 years, when are you going to do it? You know, like, that's just how I look at it. So, look, I have a crazy theory as a Bears fan, and it's been floating around for quite some time. It was floated around kind of last year, but I think the Bears fire Nagy, and I think that they probably pursue Jim Harbaugh. I think they do. Just because of the Ditka thing, and a lot of Bears fans want to get back to the good old days of the Bears. I foresee it happening. I just do. If he doesn't leave, then I don't get it. Because it's like, dude, time's up. You're not winning anything. Go. That's just me. It was a great weekend, though. All right. Now into the first playoff ranking. Look, I get it's the first playoff ranking. You're going to chirp, chirp, chirp. People are chirping. It's the first. Who gives a fuck? These rankings suck. Straight garbage. These rankings, garbage. These rankings are the epitome of, like, you know what? Fuck it. What? Who are you? Oh, you're big time. Get in the club. You, back of the line. Pretty much what it was. It's like the fucking big TikTok people versus a low-level TikToker who has 5,000 followers or 50 million. Like, you know what? You might not be good at what you do. Boom. Front of the line. That is just how it is. These rankings are terrible. What these rankings show is that some teams, it's like, you have no fucking chance. Like, don't even fucking show up. You know what? Boom, boom, boom. Like, you know what? Like, you know, oh, you think you have a chance? Oh, you're a cute little star? Fuck you. Fuck you. You're not getting in. Like, they threw up the double birds to some of these teams. Alabama, I wish I was Alabama. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't even matter what you do, who you are. Close games to terrible teams like Florida. Play close with Tennessee for 3 quarters. Yeah, fuck, it doesn't matter. You got Nick Saban, Bryce Young. Book it. Fuck it. You're in. That's the fucking problem with this thing. Look, I get it's Alabama, and they're probably going to be there at the end of the year. If they don't lose to Georgia, they're in. I agree with that. They have great games coming up. But don't put fucking 5-3 in Mississippi State at 17 ranked just to help Alabama's case. And look, I get they beat Kentucky. We can't. Yeah, you can. Okay, Mississippi State, you've done nothing all year. Terrible losses. You're 5-3. You beat a 6-2 Kentucky team who's decent. Put them at like 22 to 25. You don't have to jump them all the way to fucking 17, but you wanted to help Alabama's case. That's grade A, problem number 1 here. Alabama doesn't have a good win. Now, they're going to get good wins. Like, they play Auburn, who's 13. They beat Ole Miss, who's 16. Like, you have those. Like I said, they beat Mississippi State, who's 17, but it's like, what do they have right now? Like, as of right now, they do not deserve to be in here. And I know it gets to deserved or good. Well, you know, look, I'm not a big fan of Oregon at 4, but Oregon has a win over Ohio State, and MSU has a win over Michigan. Then, with the criteria that it should be, Alabama should be behind Michigan State and Oregon both. But the problem is with this fucking 13-team committee or person committee is we have different criteria for different teams. That's not how it should fucking work. Do you win your games? Who did you beat? Did you lose? How did you win? That's all it should matter. And I don't, like, I get to, like, oh, the undefeated, it doesn't matter. But at a point, it does matter. If you're 8-0 through 8 weeks or 9 weeks of the season, that's pretty fucking remarkable. If you're undefeated at the end of the year, it shouldn't matter. Like, you should get a bump up for being undefeated, and then we'll break you down from there compared to a 1-loss team or a 2-loss team. You don't just shit on somebody now because, oh, you're undefeated, but, you know, and you have a pretty good win. Fuck it. Like, what? Oregon is terrible at 4, like I said before. Moving on to problem number 2, Oregon fucking sucks. The Pac-12 is garbage. Oregon should be 8, 9, or 10. They lost to a 3-5 Stanford team. Yeah, they beat Ohio State. You beat them by a fucking touchdown. If they played right now against Ohio State beats them by 30. I mean, so Oregon there at 4, garbage. Get them out of here. And I'll go through all this, but I'm breaking down. Okay, problem number 2 as I go down the board here. Like I said before, Cincinnati got fucked. Cincinnati is 8-0. They have a top 10 win over Notre Dame. Alabama doesn't have that. And you're going to put them at 6? What? The criteria between them and Oregon should be, okay, Cincinnati's undefeated, Oregon's not. Oregon beat Ohio State. Great win. And they beat them at Ohio State. Cincinnati beat Notre Dame. At Notre Dame. So, like, Cincinnati should be just above Oregon, in my opinion, because they're 8-0. The fucking conference Cincinnati plays in is basically the Pac-12, pretty much, because the Pac-12 sucks. So, it's like you're going to sit here and do-si-do with this shit. They don't want Cincinnati in. It is very clear. I like what one guy said. Dan Patrick said it, the GOAT of this sports media. He said in his gut feeling is they didn't put Cincinnati in the top 4 because they don't want to take them out. Because if they take them out, that's a bigger issue. So them not having them in at all, they don't even have to worry about potentially putting them in or not putting them in. But if they put them in now, there will be no reason to take them out. That's what the committee does not want to deal with, which I agree with. It's if they put Cincinnati at 4 or 3 right now, they're in as long as they go undefeated. We've seen it before. Like Notre Dame did the same thing. Notre Dame was the first year they made it to the playoff. They were like 4 or they were like 2 or 3 or something like that, and they were undefeated. They didn't look good, but they were ranked in the playoff rankings for like the entire year, and they undefeated. And they like, you got to put them in, even if they were good or not. And they got their ass kicked, but it's like they were undefeated and they had them in the rankings. If Cincinnati was like Clemson or, Notre Dame, or let's even put like Auburn or Texas A&M or Ole Miss, Wisconsin, Iowa, a big name brand, they would be number 2 right now. But they're not because they're getting fucked. And what it shows right now is Cincinnati's not getting in. Doesn't matter what you do. So Cincinnati, you might as well just say fuck it. We're not going to play another game. We'll be 8-0. Fuck it. We're done. We're not getting in anyways. And that's the problem with this fucking committee is you're not giving teams a chance to say, hey, I get in. But then you do this shit. So now the problem number, I don't even know what problem number 4 or 5. Oklahoma's low at 8, but they're undefeated 9-0. And the committee's like, well, we like their quarterback change, so that gives them some points. So that's telling you, as long as they go undefeated and they look fairly decent, they're jumping in the top 4, which I think they will. I think because they have a game against number 11, Oklahoma State, number 12, Baylor. The way it's looking out, they're going to have to play them, get into the Big 12 championship. That's just how it works. So they're going to have 2 top 12 wins. They're going to jump up big time. By the end of this ranking, Oklahoma's going to be in the top 4 as long as they're undefeated. But to put them at 9 or 8, it's like, that's bullshit. To me, they should be above Michigan, above Oregon, and I'd even put them above Alabama because they're undefeated and what they've done. I mean, come on. So on to the next problem here. The ACC. You ain't getting in. And Wake Forest, you have no fucking shot because your name's not Clemson. Your logo is not Clemson. If this was Clemson, 8-0 in the ACC, which has been fucking terrible forever, last 4 or 5 years, Clemson would be the number 2 ranked team in the country. Think about it. It's the truth. It's the truth. Well, you don't have to hold it. We know the fucking answer. 8-0. They'd be in. I mean, that is just how fucking stupid. And Wake Forest plays in the ACC. And now the committee's saying, well, now the ACC sucks. As everybody else has been saying that for the last 3 or 4 fucking years. The ACC is garbage. No, they're like, fuck. No, now it sucks. Now it sucks because Clemson's out here. Well, the ACC is now being Clemson. So, yeah, like I said, I get it's the first rankings, but this thing fucking sucks. Like Pittsburgh, 6-2, 25. Okay, they had like 2 bad losses, but they beat some teams. San Diego State, Fresno State. So you're putting smaller teams in, even with 1 and 2 loss. But you're not putting, like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. What are the answers? I want the answers. Iowa, 22. Look, Iowa has the win against Penn State. Now that fucking win sucks. They're 6-2. They just lost to Wisconsin. Who now you're gonna jump Wisconsin above? Wisconsin should be fucking ranked. Lost against a bad Penn State team now at home. You got destroyed by Michigan at home. You got destroyed by Notre Dame a neutral site. They shouldn't even be fucking ranked. Minnesota, I don't get Minnesota either. That was just to help Ohio State's case. That's why I highlighted it here. That was one of those to help Ohio State. This is a stupid shit that they did. They did that shit to help Ohio State's case because they're going to think, well, Minnesota's going to beat Wisconsin, hopefully, and beat Iowa. So it gives them 2 ranked wins, and Ohio State beat them on the road. They did that stupid, like, we're going to help you, but fuck you. What? NC State, I don't know. I don't watch NC State football. Kentucky, like I said, they just got beat by Mississippi State, so they move them back to put Mississippi State. Mississippi State's been garbage all year. Now you want to put them up there? Oh, that's right. Let's help Alabama out. Ole Miss, that was to help Alabama out. I mean, they're right where they should be. BYU, I don't know, they were hot, beat a couple good teams. Texas A&M, you beat Bama, who's 2, so, I mean, clearly from their rankings, you're up there. Auburn's 13, we'll see. I mean, like I said, they have to play Bama and they have to play A&M this week. I'll talk about that game here in a minute, but like, these rankings are not what they should be. It's like Vegas would have a much better time doing these fucking rankings. Honestly. I mean, like, the scenarios for this and how I think it will play out is I think Georgia, win or lose against Alabama in the SEC championship game, they're in. So Georgia's in automatically. Georgia, they have it. Alabama, they need to win that SEC championship. If they don't, they're out. I think Michigan State finishes like 10-2. I think they lose to Penn State and they lose to Ohio State. So I don't think they're in. Oregon, I foresee them losing another game. Ohio State, I foresee being in. And then I think Oklahoma will get in. So what I think will happen is I think Georgia will be in. They'll lose to Alabama in the SEC championship game. So Alabama will be in. Ohio State will be in, and Oklahoma will be in. That's what I foresee happening. Because it's the same fucking 4 teams every year, so fuck it. And then you get a wild card when it's like, is Oklahoma deserving this year or are they not? Is Notre Dame deserving? And I'm a Notre Dame fan, and I still don't fucking get it. Like, it's nice that you're a big brand, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, fucking fix your criteria for looking at teams. Like, don't look at one team differently than you look at the other. Like, you gotta be fucking fair. And, the rankings show this thing's fucked. And that we're going towards 12, 8, whatever it is. We need expansion, but we need it in a way where it's like, a great way where, like, we need to figure out the fucking criteria for how they fucking rank, dude. Like, that's the question. It's like, you can expand all you want and make this thing bigger and let's add more people, but if you have a flawed fucking structure of how you do it, then, this thing is, those rankings garbage. Like, that's what I fucking think about. They're straight garbage. Okay, notable games this week. I will calm down a little bit to talk about notable games. Since those rankings came out, I've been pissed. I mean, they're terrible. I mean, it's just, like, teams nowadays, like, you don't have a shot. You don't have a shot. You're a small name school. It doesn't matter if you're in a Power 5 conference or not. You're fucked. Auburn plays at Texas A&M this week. Like I said, it's getting nitty and gritty. If you're Alabama, like, you want both sides to win because you're going to have to play Auburn eventually at the end of the year, and Texas A&M beat you. So you're going to want Texas A&M to win. Texas A&M is a 4.5-point favorite. I'd pick A&M at home. I'll go with A&M at home. Mississippi State plays at Arkansas. This is how fucking Vegas thinks. This shows you how fucked up these rankings are. Number 17 Mississippi State, and I like Mike Leach. 5-3. They're going to Arkansas, who's 4-4. They are a 5-point road dog. What? And I get, like, the home team usually gets 3, and like, betting wise, but it's like that right there fucking shows you that Mississippi State's not good. I think Arkansas beats them. Star that one. LSU at Alabama. Dude, this is not the game we've seen the last few years. Alabama is favored by 28.5. It's at Alabama. Alabama fucking, they're going to cover. I mean, the games this week suck compared to last week, and they're going to get better, but it's like nitty-gritty this week. I'm picking a good game. Wake Forest plays at North Carolina, 2.5-point underdog. Like I said, the home team usually gets 3. I think Wake wins, but it's close. Wake's defense is fucking atrocious. I think Wake wins, but a close one. And like North Carolina has playmakers, they can score. They put up 33 on Notre Dame. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll go back since I had to redo the video because it only films in 20-minute intervals. I guess I'll go back and see how I was last week. I picked Iowa. That's a fucking loss. I picked Georgia. W. Ole Miss. Fucking loss. Penn State. I picked Ohio State to cover, but they won. W on the record there. W. And then I picked Notre Dame. I mean, 3-2 is not terrible. Oh, and I picked MSU. So, actually, 4-2. I mean, this guy. I mean, technically the Ohio State one I didn't win, but I didn't bet on it, so I won because I picked them to win. Like I said, I think the rankings sucked. I think that we're moving forward with some stuff that, like I said, just the way that we have this thing set up, it's to fuck people over, and it doesn't matter who you are or what you've done, or and it always goes back to the, well, you're deserving versus the best. I don't fucking know who's deserving and who's the best. Like, if a team like Cincinnati has been doing it now for 2 years, and they almost beat fucking Georgia last year in the bowl game, so they can compete, and they have fucking playmakers. Give them a shot, just for one fucking time. Just give a team a shot. I get it. Like, we put Notre Dame in, and we get our ass kicked. You give us our shot, though, because we're Notre Dame. It doesn't matter how many times we get our ass kicked. It's like, I would much rather Notre Dame undefeated versus Cincinnati. I'd give Cincinnati their shot. Like that's how desperate I am. Just to have a small team be given a shot. Because Cincinnati has players. They do. They have a quarterback who I saw in one mock draft is like the first fucking quarterback taken in the draft. They have a corner who is fucking really good. And they have actual players. And they have a fucking coach. Give them a chance. This is not like all these other teams. Just give them a fucking chance. They have actual NFL players. They just do. And like that's the problem. It's like we can sit here and pound our fucking fist, and nothing's gonna matter. Nothing's gonna change because it doesn't matter what you do, or it's about who you are and who you know. And that's the problem. And until that gets fixed, we're fucked. I mean, this system is fucked. The BCS was flawed. This is even worse, I could argue. Because it's like, yeah, you went to 2, but like at least with like the BCS, it's like we had points. Like, okay, this team is 0.001 better than that team, or what the like, and that was fucked up. But it was like at least we knew how the fucking thing worked. We knew the algorithm for figuring out the data. This, we have no clue. We let these 13 people get in there. Not everybody that knows football. And look, I get it. Like, you don't want that, but it's like, and like changing the committee every year, we should have stuck with the same committee. Because the first committee, they got it right. They let a team in that everybody argued shouldn't be in, and they fucking won the whole thing. So it's like, I just don't get it. It's a fucked up, flawed system, and I think the committee needs to do a better, or needs to be held accountable every week. Not just have the fucking committee chairman come out and answer 2 fucking questions and not even answer them. Like, we should know the criteria. I mean, this is terrible. It's just horrible. I don't get it. I'll fucking bitch about it next week, too. But that's just how it is. Alright, that's going to be the video here. Like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still pissed about it. I'm going to fucking sit here after this video and fucking talk to myself about it because it's so fucked up. I mean, it is. I don't know. Alright, thanks for watching. That's going to do it here for the V.O.C. College Football Thursday. Watch football this week. Talk about it next week. Hopefully something interesting happens so we have something to talk about Monday. But thanks for watching.